Westside Decorating Center. Good morning to you. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. When I say time flies, I mean it, because it seems like just yesterday we talked about what we're going to talk about this hour, and that is the International Peace Day Peace Walk for this year, 2025, which is presented by the Merida International Institute of Peace and Happiness. And we have a couple of folks with us to talk about it this morning. First of all, the man whose name is on the shingle, Dr. Debashis Merida. Dr. Merida, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. Also with us this morning on the Board of Governors of the Institute, we say good morning to Andy Bethune. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Art.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Dr. Merida, you created the Merida International Institute of Peace and Happiness. Talk about why that happened. What made you do it?
Good morning again. I am Dr. Merida. I born and brought up in a country called Bangladesh, and when I was a child, about 4 or 5 years old, I had to flee from my house and I lived in a refugee camp. So from the childhood, I have had a thought how to create this world peaceful. So kids like me, like 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and other kids will no need to fly or flee from their home and live in a refugee camp. And that was in my mind always, but I had to go to a different country to study and become a physician. I studied medicine in Ukraine, actually in Kiev Medical Institute, where there is a war going on now. And then I came to USA and became a citizen here, and I am working in Saginaw last 25 years. Then I thought that this is the time that I can create an institute and spread the message of peace throughout the world. So people can think about peace. Most often in our life, we don't have time to think about peace. We always think about how to live next day or how to earn money or how to do other things. But we never think about peace. But peace is the most important thing in our life. Without peace, a person, a human being, a society, a country cannot flourish. That's why I created the Peace Institute to spread the message of peace throughout the world.
I have to ask, you have the Peace Institute at a time when the world seems to be going in the other direction. How does this impact your thoughts on this?
It even make me think about it more. It made my thought even more pronounced, more stronger, that it is essential. Peace is essential because whole world is now in turmoil. Everywhere there like a competition going on. Who can build what kind of destructive weapons? You know, if we can spend money like to build money about $2 billion, which we use to build B-2 bomber, and $2 billion actually will help the world to create peace. We can feed all the hungry children in the world for 1 year. So we have to think differently. It is our thought that will change the world, not the weapons. How we can change the thought process, that is the most important thing. And we are trying to change the thought process of human being, that they will think about peace, not always war. We have a thought like oneness. We think that there are people who is not us. They are different. But all human being wants one thing, and that is peace and happiness. In the world, every human being is working or whatever they're doing for one thing, to live in a peaceful society, in a peaceful country, with happiness. That's why my thoughts are even getting stronger and more profound in this situation. Thank you.
And Andy, what drew you to the Institute?
I think you probably just heard it. Doctor's heart, and we've been good friends for a long time. And he asked me just to start helping him. Try to make the Institute a little bit more of an entity within the community, so that we could actually do some things where we could help with his mission and his family's mission to bring peace into our community. And that's really what drew me, is just to be able to help him, because his heart, it's obvious what he stands for. His demeanor, his personality, his heart, they're always the same. He's the same person each day, and he doesn't get upset about things. He's very mild-mannered, and it's just a remarkable way of living life. And I think that he sets an example that other people could follow.
Well, this time of year is always the International Peace Day Peace Walk. When is it this year?
Yeah, it's Sunday the 21st, and the 21st is International Peace Day, and so we'll start out with a expo. We bring a lot of nonprofit organizations in just for an opportunity for them to put up a tent and tell the community who they are. And then at 3:00 we will have the program, which will be a brief program, just kind of talk about who we are, what we're trying to do, and what the day means. And then we will have some speakers. Doctor will speak. Mayor Moore will also speak. And then after the program's over and before the before the walk starts, Doctor and his wife have donated a peace path to the community. And some people that are listening today may have seen it. It's some benches that have been placed along Washington Avenue around Hoyt Park and the Montague Inn, and there are inscriptions on the benches that talk about peace. And it's just kind of a nice way for Dr. and Mrs. Merida to make a gift to the community that really speaks to who they are and what they believe in.
Where does it all start?
So it's all going to start at the Montague. It'll start and end at the Montague. After we're done, we'll have a little afterglow with Bobby Balderrama and friends, playing some music, having some light refreshments. And, again, what we're trying to do, Art, is we're just trying to set an example for the community. When we're walking with signs that talk about peace, and people are driving along and they kind of take a look and take notice of what we're doing. We're not demonstrating. All we're doing is just setting an example of people in the community who value peace, want to see a peaceful community, and just trying to let that movement grow.
I will talk more about it. I've got to take a break, and then we'll come back as we talk to Dr. Dabish Merida. Dr. Dabish Merida and Andy Methuen coming up after these notes.
On your mark, get set.
Hi, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Dr. Dabish Merida and Andy Methuen from the Merida International Institute of Peace and Happiness. Dr. Merida, the Peace Walk happens September 21st, but every spring you have a symposium, if you will, on international peace. How did it go this year, and when is the next one?
This year, the symposium went very well. We had a famous speaker from Boston area. She talked about effect of social media on human lives. Those are very important because sometimes our institute works on how to create inner peace, because without inner peace, we will not able to find external peace. And those social medias are good, but it often create an inner restlessness. So we cannot find sometime inner peace. Though she taught us how to use the social media, but in a peaceful way and create inner peace. That's why it was very good. Next event will be in March 27th of 26 in SVSU, Saginaw Valley State University. We'll let you know about the topics. We are still choosing the topics. If anyone like to propose a topics for our next event, for our next symposium, please suggest topics. It should be like society-oriented, community-oriented, peace-oriented. Then we'll do. It is our 5th year of the institute, so it will be a big event, on 21st of September, as Andy Bethune mentioned, that will inaugurate our peace path and dedicate it to the community. South Washington Avenue, as you know, is a beautiful, peaceful walkway. And when a person will walk there, they will read some quotes on the benches, sit there and reflect. And this reflection will help them to bring peace in their life. And when they have peace in their life, they will bring peace in the community. And when peace will be in the community, that will create peaceful society and peaceful country. We like to create a ripple effect. That is our main goal. Thank you.
Andy, let's go back and talk more about the walk. First of all, what time does it all get underway again?
Yeah, so 2:00 is the expo, 3:00 is the program, and we'll start the walk probably around 3:30. And we should be back by 4:00, and then the afterglow should start right around that time.
Is there a cost to participate?
No, it's just you can go to miiph.org and register. It's nice to know who's coming, but if not, you can still just join us if you'd like to show up at the Montague anytime between 2:00 and 3:00.
And the walk starts at the Montague. What's the route of the walk?
Yeah, so the route will go down Washington Avenue to Holland, and then cross. We have the city police helping out for safety. Then we'll go to the east side of the street, down in front of Hoyt Park. We'll pass all the new benches, head down to the Children's Zoo, back over to the west side of the street, and back to the Montague.
And all this happens on September 21st.
International Peace Day.
International Peace Day. Let me also talk about something else you folks do. On Wednesdays, I see on your website, meditation for memory, focus, stress relief, and longevity. What's that all about, Doctor?
Yes. I like to make people life peaceful, and one of the way to create inner peace is meditation. So I like to teach people how to do meditation to create a peaceful situation in their mind. And when mind is peaceful, the society is peaceful. Other way, we like to increase the longevity. People want to live longer, and we all want to live longer. And with focused meditation, we try to help people how they can live longer and improve their focus, their memory. Because after 60, most of the people have some issue with their memory. And with this meditation, especially focused meditation, we can teach them how to preserve their memory, how to enhance their memory. So we are organizing this event every Wednesday. We are thinking of doing it, and they can join. It is free of charge, and anybody can come and join us, and we'll teach them about the meditation. And even after teaching, they can come every week and participate in it, and it is always free of charge. And there actually refreshment. There will be refreshment. That is about the peace walk. After the peace walk, we'll have afterglow also. There will be a concert kind of thing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The meditation sessions too. For those that are interested, it's at the Montague Inn, and it's 5:30 every Wednesday.
Please.
Very good. Andy, I want to go back to the walk and registration. You mentioned that you would like to have folks pre-registered if possible.
Yeah, that's helpful, just to get a count, especially to kind of let the public safety know how many people will be there. But we're expecting upwards of about 100 people to attend this year.
And the walk, so we're looking at probably, 4 hours total?
Yeah, I mean, the walk itself is probably no more than a mile if
Right.
it's a mile. But from 2 o'clock till, I'd say if you just wanted to come to the dedication ceremony, the program ceremony, and walk, you probably wouldn't be there much longer than an hour at the most.
Well, listen, this is it's always interesting. I said at the beginning, it's like, gee, weren't we just talking about this yesterday? The year has flown by, and let's hope that the message of peace gets spread around the world, not only internally but spread around the world. Because right now, God knows we need it.
Yeah, if I could take a second,
Yeah,
Art, just
please.
to kind of to reemphasize a few things. There's a lot of times we make just comments about the world needs to be peaceful, or just comments about our thoughts on society. But the question is, what are you going to do about it? And what we have here with Dr. and Mrs. Mrida are two human beings who really believe in it, and they're doing something about it. And what they've done about it is to create an institute, to have events, to use their own resources to do these things, and to set an example in our community. And it's one of the most beautiful things that you can see. Now they've donated a peace path to the city of Saginaw, and again, use their own resources to buy these benches, to install the benches, no cost to the city, because they believe in it so much. And I think that's compelling.
Yeah.
That they really are walking the talk.
Well, and the old saying, "Put your money where your mouth is."
Exactly, and it's just, but their heart is so much more valuable than their money.
Yeah.
And they're doing things that that really resonate with helping others. And I think that's just something. If you want to obviously the song says, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." Well, they've done that, and I think if you want to solve problems in our society, you can solve them by the way you behave yourself, and that's something that doctor sets an example with every day. You're not going to find him making inflammatory remarks about things or using any kind of negative language. The things that he believes in are very positive, very, very peace-driven, very peace-driven, and they're things that set an example for others to potentially live their lives that way. And I think we'd have a better world if more people lived the way that they live.
Well, I tell you what, let me ask both of you to hang on. We'll do one more segment. We'll come back after this break, and we are talking to Dr. Debasic Mrida and Andy Bethune from the Mrida International Institute of Peace and Happiness. We will return.
Gotta go.
Down that part of the brain, we always has to focus on peace. If we can focus and rewire our mind, our brain, then we can go back to peace. But remember, we have to fight to survive. Every animal, every trees, every human being had to fight to survive in this universe, in this world. But everyone was seeking for peace. Fighting has one good thing about it. It produced the evolution, next generation. But we also look for the peaceful situation always and like to live in happiness. So it is true. Yes.
But let me ask you this. We talk about the brain being wired to accept internal peace and happiness, but we're all products of how we were brought up.
Yes.
If you're brought up in a situation where peace and happiness are not in the forefront, how long does it take to unlearn it and learn a new way of thinking?
It does not take that long. We have to, peace and happiness is a very good thing. We can immediately shift our mind to peace and happiness. Now, most of the people has a stressful life, a stress in their life. They had problem with the family members, with the society, at their workplace, at their community. So if they can shift the mind to a peaceful situation, most of the time, my patients say, oh, this person did this thing. That's why I am so angry. I am so mad. My neighbor did this thing. So I teach them very simple way. Think that you are the most intelligent person in the world. So who is doing this harming you? They don't know what they are doing. So if they don't know what they are doing, what right you have to get mad on that person? And I tell them that anger, when you get angry or when you are not peaceful, it is like holding a fire in your hand. It burns only you, but you think that it may burn other person, but it doesn't. When you have anger or mind is not peaceful, then that that burns you, not other person. So never get angry, never get mad, never blame others for the problem. If you can do that, and everybody can do that, this world will be peaceful. It is very simple to make this world peaceful, but we never think about it.
Andy, let me ask you, you're welcome. Let me ask you, Andy, in this day and age, are you fighting social media to get this message across?
Absolutely. And whenever you're fighting anything, that's not peaceful, is it? It's kind of it becomes the root to the problem, which is there's opposing things to peace. And as Doctor has said many times, you don't find the peace in the absence of conflict. You find peace in spite of conflict. And so that's pretty powerful, because it's really a choice that you have to make, and it's easier said than done. We all know what anger feels like, and we all know sometimes when we've said something or done something that we didn't want to do. But if you think about, like Doctor says, if you're holding on to fire, it only burns you.
Thing that I think about with anger, it's always an afterthought, and by that I mean you get angry before you think about it. Afterwards, you may regret it or think about it, but it's one of those reactive things, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, this as Doctor was mentioning with our symposium this past year, we had Bailey Parnell, who talked about the Safe Social and the impact of social media on peace and happiness. And its impact is, if you think about the repetition of what you're feeding yourself, it doesn't matter if it's a food that you're eating time and time again that's not good for you, or you're consuming something into your brain time and time again that's not good for you. If you don't monitor it, it can get the best of you. And I think that's what we're trying to do with the Peace Institute is just help people understand to consciously make adjustments in their lives so that the default is to how do I want to think, how do I want to feel, how do I want to be, and if that starts to drive your decision making, all of a sudden you'll start to tone it down yourself. And when you tone it down yourself, a lot of fighting doesn't work anyway, right? And at the end of the day, whenever you fight with someone, you have to have a resolution after the fight, right? The fight doesn't solve anything. After the fight, a resolution is required. You have to say you're sorry. You have to have some kind of resolution, and so the fighting doesn't work. What works is not having to fight in the first place.
All right. Hang on for one more segment, and we'll finish up with our guests right after these notes.
The Wild-Eyed Southern Boys.
Our guest for one final segment, Dr. Debasish Merida and Annie Bethune from the Merida International Institute of Peace and Happiness. Dr. Merida, I mentioned earlier, we're all products of our upbringing. No baby is born in the world with a prejudiced thought. No baby is born in the world angry, although they cry a lot. But you know what I mean. It's all learned behavior. And it seems to me that it's very difficult in this day and age to get away from some of those negative learned behaviors. Am I right?
Yes.
How do we do it?
In the society, you are right. We born with peace and happiness, and when we born, we are the most powerful. Do you know why? Because when we born, we have one thing, and only one thing. That is, we know how to love. We love our mom. We love our dad. We love the world. So when we love, the world loves us. So we are the most powerful when we born. But then we learn from the society, from the community, from the family, from the school, the negative traits. And we now accumulate negative traits in our body, in our mind, in our thought process. And those negative traits makes us weak. But a person who is more powerful in the world, most powerful, it is not that who has the atomic weapons, but who knows how to love everyone, who is non-judgmental. And it is very difficult to be non-judgmental in a judgmental society. And if we can practice it again and again and see everybody's, and lift yourself up in the sky and look down and look at everyone and see what they're feeding themselves, and you try not to feed it and only feed yourself with kindness, with compassion, with joy and happiness, and not saying anything wrong in the world, then only you can find it. If you look for the good thing, then you find it. Like a bee, if you let them go to like a dustbin, they will not look for the dust. They will try to find a flower, to find honey there. But if you send a fly in a beautiful garden with flowers, they will not look for the flowers or honey. They will look for the dead carcasses, and they will go down on the mud and find that. So we have to look for the beauty in the universe. Everything has beauty in it. We have to look for those. And if we can create our mind, prepare ourselves to look for the beauty, to look for the joy, look for the peace, then we can create it. Look at Mother Teresa. In a difficult world, she found the peace. She helped the people. Same way, we have to have a mind that we like to help everybody, no matter who they are, where they are, how they are. We have to tell them we really care. We really care for the world. We really care for you, who is next to you. Only then we can find inner peace. Because we find peace or happiness by giving it, not by enjoying it. I mean, you have to enjoy it. When you give peace, love, or happiness to others, you become peaceful unknowingly.
Well, we thank you much for joining us today with your message. And Andy, just remind everybody again about the International